What's up YouTube? Conzilla here. This is day 8 of 31 Days of Horror, where I'm reviewing a different horror movie for every day of the month of October. Tonight's film was David Cronenberg's The Fly. Holy frick guys, what a nutter's film. I had never seen this one before, but I am a really big fan of Cronenberg's Videodrome. Which is like one of my favorite movies. I haven't really seen many of his other films, but this one's been on my list for a while, and I was glad to finally check it out. Yeah, this is one of those movies that will just mess you up. Oh my goodness. This movie stars Jeff Goldblum. He plays Seth Brundle, who's a brilliant scientist who has figured out how to make teleportation pods. This film is of course based on an old, science fiction / horror story called The Fly. Most people are probably pretty familiar with the basic premise at least, but David Cronenberg puts his own, sick, twisted spin on the whole thing in a way that only he could. Really excellent body horror film. This movie is, it's horrifying, it's disgusting, and it's super tragic. So yeah, back to the plot recap with spoilers. Spoilers alert. Jeff Goldblum plays Seth Brundle. He's a scientist. At the very beginning of the movie, he is meeting with a journalist played by Geena Davis. Her name is Ronnie. And he's trying to pick her up there at like some sort of science convention. He takes her back to his apartment and shows her his latest experiment, which is, the teleportation pods. And he gives her a little demonstration by teleporting, her legging or her pantyhose from one pod to the other, and then she reveals she's a journalist and that she's going to write a story about it. And so then we cut to the magazine that she's working for, which is called Particle, and it's run by an ex-boyfriend, kind of creep character who's like obsessed with her. He's the editor, and he doesn't believe the story initially. Seth Brundle then goes and convinces her that rather than, publishing an article because he doesn't want the story out yet, he wants to keep it under wraps, that she can have, full access to the story and document everything and write a book about it. Later on, after successfully teleporting an ape, a baboon, through the pods, they're going to celebrate. They've begun this sort of romance because she realizes what a brilliant scientist he is, and they get close while she's documenting his experiments. And at this point, she realizes that her former lover, the guy from Particle magazine, is trying to interfere. He's going to publish a story about it without her wanting him to, and so she tells Seth that she needs to go deal with this. He puts it together that, he's her former lover and gets all jealous and he's drunk and decides to hastily test a human subject with the teleportation pods himself. And of course, as we all know, a fly gets into the teleportation pod while he's doing this, thus fusing his human DNA with that of a fly. And this sets in motion a transformation in Seth that will ultimately, see his horrifying self-destruction throughout the film. And as the film goes on, he starts to develop. At first, it's just like he's very manic. He's like he's on drugs, like he's on crack or something. He's talking a mile a minute. He's super strong. He's doing all these crazy acrobatic things, and he's like being super rash. He gets all pissed off at Geena Davis's character, and goes out and picks some other chick up and all of this. But then he quickly realizes, he's growing these strange hairs out of his back, and his fingernails start falling out, and his skin is getting all gross and splotchy, and he's just, slowly mutating throughout the course of the film and becoming more and more like an insect, humanoid. And of course, Ronnie is pregnant with his child, and there's a great dream sequence where she is getting an abortion and they're pulling out like a larva out of her. It's really freaking gross stuff. Anyways, eventually he is just like self-destructing as this mutation goes on, and the movie culminates with a pretty crazy sequence where the the former lover of Ronnie decides to put the fly creature out of its misery, and he gets his shotgun and goes over to Seth's apartment because Seth has basically abducted Ronnie. She's trying to get his baby aborted, and he doesn't want her to because that's like the only part of him that's left. So he wants her to go through with having the baby. She doesn't want to, and there's a scene earlier in the film where he tells her, that she needs to leave him alone because as he becomes more insect-like, he's losing compassion. He's worried he'll hurt her. Anyways, before the editor character of Particle magazine can use his shotgun on the fly, he oh my god, it's nuts. He like regurgitates this acidic, liquid like a fly onto this guy's hand, and it just like melts. And he gets the guy's foot and melts his foot entirely off. And anyways, what Seth's plan here is that he wants to take two pods, put him in one, put Ronnie and the baby in another, and then fuse all of them together into one happy family that will come out in a third pod, right? But before he can do this, the other character manages to shoot the cabling to the pod, severing the connection between the two, and it kind of busts open the glass on the one that Seth is in, which causes him to, the fly creature to be fused with the pod itself, and so he comes out as this biomechanical insectoid mess who's just begging, to be killed at this point. Geena Davis is holding the shotgun, and he just like pulls it up to his forehead, and he's just like, just end it. Super dark, crazy movie. Holy cow. I'm a huge fan of 80s practical effects horror. It's such a golden era of filmmaking and special effects. I just love these kinds of movies. And David Cronenberg is obviously known for his really bonkers body horror films, such as Videodrome. And this one's kind of his big mainstream body horror effort, I would say. And the effects are just great. Jeff Goldblum is super well cast in this as the fly creature. He does a great mad scientist throughout the movie, and then just, as the movie goes on, gets piled on with more and more latex. And by the end of the film, when he basically totally degenerates into this fly creature, I mean, it's so just disgusting to see, his face is just like popping apart and these fly eyes come out. It's just bonkers. It's great. Geena Davis is really good in this movie too. It's not always easy to come by super character-driven horror films that are effective, but this one is definitely really character-driven. Both Jeff Goldblum and Geena Davis are, really do excellent jobs in their roles. Geena Davis does a great job of cementing the tragic elements of this story because they have this, just sort of nice romance that's blossoming in the beginning of the film, and we just see, what the effect of his mutation has on her and how heartbroken and horrified and just it's really well done. Like I said, the effects are super amazing. They're like just absolutely revolting. I was watching this with a couple friends tonight, and they could barely watch some of the scenes in this. Like when his fingernails are just coming out. There's a part where he goes into a bar and arm wrestles some guy and just like snaps his wrist and the bones poking out. Just great, gory, disgusting practical effects. You gotta love it. So all in all, super excellent, well done horror movie. Really a lot of different emotions that get brought out in this movie. Not easy to do. So definitely one that I would heavily recommend checking out. If you've seen this film before, let me know what you thought in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinion on this. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I'm going to be reviewing a different horror movie every day for the rest of the month. I've still got a lot of great films on my list to come, so you won't want to miss out on that. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.